arms, and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head.
What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Zero Productions, you guys. Alright, so let's talk about an interesting topic today. Spider-Man and Venom, Sony's universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, we all knew with the whole Disney and Sony whole ordeal with this whole contract of Spider-Man, we knew eventually that these two universes would cross over at some point. We just don't know when. Spider-Man 3 is slated for July, I think 6, 2021. And then he's making another MCU appearance in an untitled film. But as far as these two universes crossing over, it would make sense on Sony's behalf. Because their universe without Spider-Man is kind of pointless. It really is. I mean, when you really look at the first Venom film, guilty pleasure for me. I enjoyed it. Wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. The whole origin of Venom was kind of stripped away without Peter Parker Spider-Man. It was. So they had to go a different route. Now, Morbius the Living Vampire, who knows? And all the other films they have slated over the next 3 to 5 years, you know, Black Cat, Silver Sable, all this, Kraven the Hunter, who knows, right? But it would make sense that they would want Spider-Man in their universe in the long run. That's just the most logical, ideal sense for Sony's behalf. Now, with this whole, contract between these two studios, we don't know the full length of it all. We don't know. Because, like I said, we all knew that this was kind of coming. We all knew that there was going to be eventually a Spider-Man and Venom in the future. It would make sense. And if Sony was smart, they would play that hand to Marvel, because that's the bread and butter right there, which is Spider-Man. So, Ruben Fleischer, the director of the first Venom, kind of hinted of this crossover with Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom. Now, realistically, I think that's what the fans want to see. I would love, from a fan standpoint, I would love to see these two actors and these two universes with Venom and Spider-Man cross over. I would love to see a big, massive showdown between these two characters. That would be badass, and that would be sick. And then, by the end of that film, you have Spider-Man win, and the symbiote attach itself to Peter. And then bring the symbiote over into the MCU. And have that suit for, like, at least a film or two, right? And then you have, Peter Parker realize, no, that this suit it's damaging my mind. It's an alter ego. I can't mess with this suit anymore. And then it goes back to Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, something along those lines. But I would love to see the black symbiote suit in the MCU. That shit would be beautiful, and not just like I need it completely CGI'd. I need it, to look like the actual suit. Because not like in Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was just the regular Spider-Man suit, but all black. Didn't necessarily like that. But, like, it would help the origin of Venom even more if it attached itself to Spider-Man. Giving, the whole web symbol, the whole Spider-Man symbol, on his chest and back. Going to Venom. And then having Venom actually, web swing through the city. Because it was attached to Spider-Man, a much better and stronger host than Eddie Brock. Because Eddie Brock has no powers. Eddie Brock is just a human. Spider-Man, on the other hand, is a much suitable, stronger host than Eddie Brock would be. So they can sort of play this off, and I feel like it could work. It really could work, and it would help out Sony's universe when we're talking Venom-wise. It really would. But I'm going to read you guys some of this article from the MCU Cosmic. Let's get down and dirty. Alright. Tom Holland Spider-Man will eventually meet Sony's Venom. When Sony and Disney revealed their new deal for the sharing Spider-Man, Kevin Feige said that Spidey had the power to jump across cinematic universes, hinting that he would appear in Sony's universe of Marvel characters, as well as the MCU. Now, Ruben Fleischer, the director of the first Venom movie, says that they are headed to a showdown between Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom, according to an interview with Fandom. Interesting stuff. This is a quote. This is what he said. That's where it's going to lead, he reveals. And that's the exciting thing, because we changed the origin of Venom in the comics. He evolved from Spider-Man, but because of the whole Marvel Sony thing, we weren't able to do that. And so the thing I think it's building towards, and will be exciting to see when they actually do confront each other. Yeah, like I said, obviously with the whole, Spider-Man not coming from their universe, they had to switch up the origin story. But they could kind of fix things moving forward if Venom, or when, sorry, I should say if, when Venom does confront Spider-Man. And I feel like they should do that route. Now, I don't know what the whole script idea is going to be for Venom 2, which hits theaters next year. No idea. I know that Woody Harrelson's coming to play Carnage. So Carnage will have a role in the film. But as far as that, I have no idea where they're going to take this story. None whatsoever. Maybe he moves to New York, where Peter exists, right? It's just maybe that week Peter was, where was he in Far From Home? It would make sense. Kind of tying in the storyline. It could make sense that they did do that kind of, that route. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to see. I'm still curious to see how Sony's going to do their entire universe and what villains they leave for Marvel leading up towards the Sinister Six and Spider-Man 3. Because I know that the MCU is leading towards that direction, is going to the going to the Sinister Six. Because, they've been teasing it. They have plenty of villains already leading up towards the Sinister Six. So it possibly could work, and I'm kind of nervous to see where they take this whole Spider-Man and Venom thing going. Because like I said, Sony's Sony, and the MCU is MCU. Very well established. 23 films in, they've built the trust. Sony, on the other hand, they've had one film, Venom. Wasn't huge critically. Yeah, it was huge at the box office. But we'll see how it goes, man. I don't know, man. I would love to see it. Like I said, I would love to see the symbiote attach itself to Tom Holland's Spider-Man and have him wear that shit in the MCU. Ballin'. That would be so sick. God damn, they do it right, too. Ooh, they do it. Obviously, it'd have to be all CGI. Well, they could kind of make a practical suit and then have the CGI elements to it. That could work. Or, like I said, all CGI, like the Iron Spider suit. They decided to go that route, And I know Tom Holland prefers the actual, to be in suit, instead of, having the whole motion capture performance. I know if I was a superhero, I'd be like, come on, man, put a suit on me. Make me feel like a hero. Not just a damn motion capture performance suit. But it's pretty interesting news, you guys. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Post your comments on what do you guys think about these two universes potentially crossing over in the next 3 to 5 years. How do you think they should take the story with Venom and Spider-Man? Do you think that the symbiote should attach itself to Peter for a couple of films? Post your comments down below, you guys, and thank you for taking time today for watching Zero Productions.